Want chairs? You want to stand? Chairs? Yes, chairs. She's like, I want chairs. All right, girlfriend. Okay. You want your clicker? Oh, no. So you're in? Yep. We'll go through the slides. Okay. Well, is it so hot in here? Oh my God. Hold on. I'm like, see what happens when Jay Teddy comes on the screen? No, I'm kidding.
That's not one.
Oh. Well, for those of you that don't know Nina is an amazing agent. I met Nina, I don't know, a couple of years ago, maybe. Then you were on the AI panel at the ALC retreat last year. And Nina is now an agent in her office as of a few weeks ago.
Well, I'm in Athens.
Yeah, she had her disclaimer. She's like, but I'm not your competition. I'm in Athens. So her whole world is in Athens. That's where she has built her business. But I will let you, building a house and all the things. But I'll let you share who you are to this group and all you, girl.
So I was licensed back in 2021. I was supposed to get my license the year prior, but my dad ended up getting diagnosed with cancer and passing away within like 3 months. And I was just desperate to help make money because his bills were crazy. And so really getting into real estate was, how do I make money?
A necessity.
To be honest with you, versus like going back to school for another degree. I didn't want to do that. But then it turns out I enjoyed it. I didn't start at Keller Williams, started at Coldwell Banker. And then in June of 2022, moved to Keller Williams. And that was a game changer in a lot of ways. And then each year, kind of being able to grow the business, started out just cold calling because I didn't know anybody. I just moved to Athens. The only people I knew were other agents, and that wasn't really helpful as far as like having a sphere or a client base or everything like that. So did that. And then once I got into coaching, things like that, my coach told me that I had to start doing video content or they would fire me. So started doing a little bit of that. And then over the years, you know, AI started to crop up. And the first instinct I had was to be afraid of it. I go, you know, it's going to take over my business. I just started. It's unfair. All those negative thoughts that you typically will have. So instead, I tried to reframe it around, okay, if it's happening anyway, why don't I try to understand it or at least attempt to incorporate it into my business? And the two-pronged thing that was really important to me was leverage as well. To be honest, I had struggled to leverage correctly, hiring assistants or, and so AI actually has been a huge game changer for that, although not the permanent solution. Now it saves me probably over 30 hours a week. So it's a little synopsis. Yeah.
What I want to go back to is, so how long have you been licensed?
Since March of 2021.
2021. So y'all do the math, it's 2025. So she moved here not knowing anybody into an area that obviously there is a lot of realtors, as we all know, we all know hundreds of them, and built an amazing business. So congratulations on that and leaning into your fears and being uncomfortable and all the things that go along with it. So I know that we're gonna talk about AI, but lead gen and mindset for you are what has gotten you where you are today. So talk about, what does your lead gen look like on a daily basis? Like, what does an average day in Nina's world look like?
So now it looks different. It's an elevated version of what it used to be. So when I first started, I had nothing going on. That's all I did. So I would go between, so I did cold calling as my lead gen source because I tried door knocking and I got scared of that.
Okay.
Open houses, I didn't enjoy as much. But then cold calling, I was able to replicate that. So I would cold call until I kind of, you know, enough people yelled at me. And then I would listen to a podcast on like some mindset. So I would go back and forth between the two. I did that for about 45 days. And then I got my first listing. And then it kind of snowballed.
Yep.
So in my first year, 2 years or so, I was doing a lot of the data research myself. So I'm not cold calling 100 people. I'm not cold calling, 50.
Right.
My first year I did 34 units. Second year I did 42 units. And then basically, long story short, I've done almost 260 units since I started. But now the difference is incorporating video. So that helps convert clients for me. And then AI takes away a lot of the time it took me to do data research. And so,
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So the slides we have is something that she had shared. I know a few of you all were in the room for the ALC retreat last year and kind of go through these and talk about, can y'all see, am I totally in the way, right? Okay, kind of like, you're totally in the way. Can y'all still see or not see? Are you good? Yeah, okay. To kind of talk about what this is, because she was on the panel with two other agents, one of them who wears the Meta glasses that records everything through the glasses.
I
Like,
highly recommend those.
yeah, and so I have several agents now I've talked to that are leaning into the AI world, that like just the regular, I don't know what they're called.
Through the
but
meta glasses.
They're the the meta glasses, yeah, that literally you push a button.
Ray-Ban.
The Ray-Ban, that's brand I was looking for. And it literally is AI that records everything that you're looking at. Like,
That's scary.
Wow.
it's crazy. It's very cool and a little crazy. But a lot of these, I know a lot, because we've been talking about AI for a while, a lot of the stuff you guys have heard of, some of the stuff you have not. I learned about HeyGen yesterday. Has anybody in the room used HeyGen before? Yeah, you have, haven't you? Yeah. So, HeyGen is really cool. And what I learned yesterday with Lauren is that you can record several things and it learns your hand gestures, it learns your voice, your face, can take away your wrinkles without making you like a robot. It was really cool. ChatGPT, I know you guys know a lot about, but I'll let you kind of explain the ones that probably are newer to most people.
So these are the ones that I use. Of course, in the last couple of weeks, I've gotten to sit in a couple of her classes, and so I'm going to be adding a couple as I learn how they work. But these were the primary ones that I was using on the regular. ChatGPT, Evaluate, HeyGen, and Descript being the primary ones. But then the other ones are just, and it's for staging, video editing, just a variety of different things. And it will kind of explain it. And the funny thing is, I inputted all of this data and all the words into the chat, and they actually designed this PDF. So all the information I inputted, but how the layout is, and it's simple, but
Yeah.
still it saved me probably an hour or so trying to put
Working in
the PDF.
Canva, yeah, putting the flyer
So I
together.
just connected the Canva to ChatGPT, and then it just designed it.
Yep. Redactable, because I know that one has come up recently. Will you kind of explain what Redactable is?
So that is and that is a paid platform, but basically if you have sensitive documents that you need certain things taken out of, you do that through Redactable, and it's paid, so it is safe as far as it's not like a ChatGPT that your information could be shared. So for documents, things like that.
If you're uploading anything that you need help with, but you don't want to have somebody's name in there or address or any kind of personal information, you can redact it out of the document, but you can still ask it questions to provide information from whatever the document is. So I thought that was kind of cool. The one thing we don't have on here is Gemini.
Yes.
Do you use it?
So I'm starting to use it.
Okay.
My primary has been ChatGPT, and I think that wasn't necessarily because it was better than Gemini, but it just at that time
Much more prominent.
it was more prominent, so I leaned into that more. But I'm working on like adjusting to use Grok and Gemini more, because like Lauren said in one of the other classes, they kind of do different things. And so knowing which one to use for which thing. Yeah.
Yeah, and she also shared yesterday for the ChatGPT. Does anyone here have the paid version? Yeah, so for those who have a paid version, she talked about the newest version, the 5.0, that she is not using that. She's gone to is it 4.0 or 4 point something?
Yeah.
Because the 5.0 she feels like is more of, it has some beta testing to go through. And so she went back to using the previous version until they kind of work out some of the kinks. So everybody's using it.
Question, Nina, I just got on it yesterday, the paid version. Does it automatically load the 5.0 or can you choose?
It automatically does, but you can go in there and choose. You can go in the top left corner and then select legacy models. You can go back and literally choose any of the previous versions. Yeah.
Awesome. Let's talk about store and prompt.
So this is something you can get through ChatGPT. You don't have to have the paid version, but this is an example of something I might use in a marketing. And it's a very simplistic example, but in selling a lot, whether it's a listing or to a builder, being able to help people visualize what can be done. And that took, it was just a minute that they came up with that. Yeah.
And I'll add to this, so we kind of talked about this when I think Tiffany, or maybe when David Maxey was here, about using Land Glide, about how you talk to people about property lines and that sort of thing. We are not surveyors. Do not tell them that's their property line, because you don't know that 100% unless you were looking at a survey and stakes in the
For
ground.
marketing purposes.
Yeah, so make sure there's a disclaimer or you've had that conversation, so they don't say, well, you said I had another 2 feet over here, that's what you said, said in your flyer, so just,
Yeah.
being selective on what you have conversations about.
Is that pulling in that, figure from the tax record, or are you putting that on the?
So I did have to take the image from the tax records, and then it, added that artwork on top of that, but technically you could connect, you have to get the API from the tax records and connect it, and it could pull it automatically if you wanted to, but in this case, I just took the picture.
So that verbiage there, that was your prompt from the first picture to the second one.
Which API tools,
Which one?
which API tools are you using?
API tools?
Yeah.
So I'm not sure exactly what you mean by that question, but,
Zapier or?
oh, well, so I was using Zapier. I'm switching over to the one that Laura mentioned, make.com,
Make.com.
because it seems much more like it can connect to more, but the challenge is with command. So I'm kind of learning between the two, to be honest with you.
Because Command is not open source.
Correct.
Yeah, and so API for you guys, and Lauren explained this really good yesterday, API is basically like a key to the front door.
Yeah.
And so whenever you have platforms, they both have to be open source platforms for them to talk to each other, and you have to have an API key to do that. So if it's a closed source platform, which Command is, there are some things, unless there's some sort of partnership that you cannot link them together.
But you talked about Zapier. and the-
Zapier is connected to Command. Yeah, they do have a partnership.
And I
So
asked her about this after the session, where do we think that there's gonna be some change in the future? Because there's a lot of platforms that are closed source that are gonna be missing out by
Yeah.
not, and so she thinks there's gonna be an in-between that will be able to allow platforms to connect, whether they're closed or open source.
Yeah.
For like a mutual fee.
have a bridge of some kind to do that. Yeah, I think it's just a matter of time, because like you said, otherwise they're gonna start losing out on some big opportunities.
Yeah.
Yeah, which program do you use to draw this sketch?
The AI did it for me.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because the
ChatGPT.
first one is ArcGIS, I'm for sure.
Yes, so the first one is from tax records. This is from Madison County Q Public. And then this is a generated image that AI created for me to kind of give an idea based on what was permitted with zoning that could be done with that lot.
Okay.
Has anybody here used any of this yet and done this? You probably have.
I've done this.
Yeah.
Well, I must admit, I got a little bit nervous with, David Maxey's talk about doing too much with the property.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But this is just showing the possibilities.
And with something like this, so I did use this to send in marketing material to different builders, but
Mhm.
then in there, the disclosure of,
Yeah.
this is not a survey, blah, 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 we have. to do
Images
our
for
own
marketing
diligence.
purposes only, that kind of stuff.
And then in addition to that, we had a survey on file that we included.
Yeah.
But
Okay. Virtual staging. This has also been a huge topic recently. Anyone here use virtual staging? Yep.
there's so many AI platforms, to be honest with you, so many. It's really just picking the one that you like. I personally like certain ones because I can pick they allow you
Furniture.
to make your own curated.
Like vignette of some kind.
And then you can apply that to each property. And it's not, the good ones are not free, but it's a lot cheaper than paying somebody to do it for you.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the feedback that we get just as a market as a whole is that don't make it look unrealistic. Like, so when people go there and it looks nothing like what the photo that you
Yeah.
have posted or that you have created in order to market the property. It needs to be as authentic as it can be. Don't have a dining room table that seats 100 people when the room is 8x8, just be reasonable. Because I don't know if you guys stalk on everybody else's stuff, because I do all the time. It is shocking what you see versus what it looks like in real life. So
It's like I tell the photographer that send me back my pictures, do not over edit it. Because the picture may look great, but if they walk in the listing and the walls are a different color,
Mm-hmm.
this is not gonna be helpful. So
Right.
it's kind of making it, presenting it in the best way, but still being honest.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, keeping it authentic.
I'm just curious, does everybody think we need to virtually stage our picture? What's everybody's consensus on that?
And I personally think it depends on the property. You know, if it's an investor property, I think you're wasting your time because, sometimes clients will request it, you know, it's something that I offer as a listing option, you know, for clients. I don't think it's necessary every time. It just depends.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think, like you said, on the property, and also some of the feedback is depending on how willing the people in the home are willing to clean up or declutter or take things down, and what's hanging on the walls, I think will also help kind of send you in on what the best decision is to do.
Do
Yeah.
these programs take a room that already has furniture in it and remove it and replace the furniture?
There are, it's the same, but again, that's where I've seen people do that and then I end up showing the property and I think it does it a disservice because you're expecting something and then you walk in and you're like, what is this mess? And the clients as well, because they're seeing the images on, you know, the different platforms. They walk in and it's nothing like that. And typically we don't make an offer. So it's like,
It's like the ones that reference the image of the pool in the backyard, and we're like, oh, it has a pool, then you read, you're like, oh, no, it doesn't have a pool, oh, man. Because, like, people do that, they're like, oh, it has a pool, because one of the pictures shows the AI pool, and then you read down this, oh, this is what a pool could look like, I'm like,
Yeah,
well,
that's-
that's just.
But what I'm getting
No.
from this, what I really like,
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I never virtually stage a room. It's just not me.
Yeah.
I just don't love that. But, I did have a listing that wasn't selling for quite a while and it was a great house. And I decided that I was gonna virtually put a pool in the backyard and show what it could look like.
Yeah.
And I did that. I had the picture of the yard without the pool, the picture of the yard with the pool
So you did
afterwards.
a side by side.
No, I put them both in there.
Yeah.
So when they were scrolling,
Mm-hmm.
and, I put virtually what your backyard could look like, your dream backyard. And then it went under contract. So I'm not saying it was definitely that.
Well, the ones I've seen is they
But
don't
it
put
did.
what the backyard actually looks like. They're like, here's what it could look like with a
The
pool.
worst
And
one
then
I've
you go
seen-
back there and it's like a pit, or it's nothing but
Mhm.
woods or like, ivy or whatever.
The
And so
worst
that's.
one I've seen is they put in like a future lake.
What?
And there was no actual, so they took a drone shot of where the home was, and then it looked like it's right on this beautiful, I'm like, what lake is that? I didn't know there was a lake there. There's not a lake there. And they had
like.
a future lake that has not been approved or decided on.
Wow, that's brave. That's brave. Don't do that. Yeah, don't put future lake. That's in trouble.
what I was gonna say is the thing that I really like, I mean, and you talked about this at the ALC retreat. The prompting there is excellent. So that's the thing that I've had to really kind of lean into and kind of get more detailed on and, like. I look at each line and going, yep, that's there.
Yeah, the prompting is a big part. And when you're using a paid version of these large language models, they learn you.
Yeah.
And they keep all your history. And so keep asking it questions, keep refining on what you're looking at for every prompt that you put in based on what you're trying to get it to do. So I know that we talk about it a lot, but just you can keep pushing it and making adjustments and challenging it. And the prompts are the key, I think, to kind of get you ahead of the game.
Yeah.
Any questions on that so far? Alda.
So again, there's multiple, both of those would do it. There's other ones that will do it also. And this is just an example of, and I just pulled these images. They're not here in Georgia, but I just put it through to see, because a lot of times if you're gonna get pictures at that time of day, they're very expensive. So if someone's on a budget, you have that option, just to show the different things that you can do. But again, I always recommend to people, instead of getting so excited about 30 different things, really try to learn the prompting and get your top couple AI apps that you use and really learn those tools and then go from there. It's almost like shiny object syndrome in a way.
Yeah, it's one thing that as we're diving deeper into all the AI stuff, it's simplify. You don't need 30 different apps to do all this stuff. You just need a handful and find the one, because there's several that do almost similar to the same things. Find the one that works best that you like to use. I know somebody asked the other day, they were saying, can I ask AI to make the grass green? And I said, you can make the AI to make the grass purple if you want to. You can ask it to do whatever you want. If you want it to be green, you want to add flowers, it will literally do anything you ask it to. But again, I think keeping it authentic is the key. And, you know, obviously the home has lights, the sky can be purple. So those are authentic, even though they are AI enhanced. Renderings. How detailed do you get in renderings?
So it depends, again, so the cautionary tale will be you have to make sure you're not misrepresenting, you
Mhm.
know. So if something has been approved for a zoning, if it's been approved for a certain type of build, you know, then that's where we'll do a video 3D rendering that shows, and I'm sure you guys have maybe seen it on social media where someone's advertising a lot
Mhm.
or it's future subdivision, and then you see like these, you know, the homes come down and it kind of shows you the guidelines of what a subdivision could look like. So for the builders that I work with, they like that a lot for the marketing purposes.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Most people are visual, and so to seeing a piece of land is hard for them to visualize what could go on it, so it's very helpful. Automation, leverage.
So really, again, these are things that I use, but if I have to be completely honest about like the top thing that has been a game changer has been Revaluate.
Mhm.
And you see that on the front page. Revaluate is a software that you can actually take property data. So if you have like a prop stream or the MLS, and then you can input it in there and it monitors those properties and will tell you the likely to sell opportunities out of there. And they're monitoring their online activity. So if someone's searching on Zillow, someone, you know, searching for baby things, or, you know, I'm not
Mhm.
sure how this is. I mean, it's legal. Because
Yeah.
we're all being monitored, I guess, but that way, if I know in a subdivision, before I would have to call every single house. But now I know it's these top 10 houses that are likely to convert.
What's that called?
Evaluate.
It was right here, right here, reevaluate.
And it is paid, so it is monitoring properties. So for about $100, you can monitor about 2,000 properties. And then you can switch those out if you want to. So that, between that and then the apps that help me with content creation and video editing, it's almost like a 3-pronged system that's worked well. So I still do cold calling, but it's much less than it used to be. And then the conversion is faster because the
Mhm.
people I'm calling are very likely to sell based on what AI has found.
Mhm.
And then by the time I've spoken with them, they search me online and then see the videos, then the videos convert them.
Yeah.
So I'm having maybe 1 to 2 conversations before the listing agreement is signed.
Nice.
Yeah.
So I want to go back and make sure you guys all heard what she just said. On the reevaluate. So for $100, they will search 2,000 properties and they give you data on people that have been searching on whether it's homes, baby stuff, could be divorce lawyers, anything of that that might give them a flag to make a move. So think about what you make an hour and cold calling house after house after house, 2,000 homes. Can what you make an hour was $100 more or less than what you make an hour in real
Oh,
estate.
it's worth them. I mean,
That's what I'm saying. I'm like,
Yeah.
just think about the math for a second on making 2,000 phone calls. How long would that take?
Now you do have to provide them with the data. So they're
Mhm.
not going to give you that data.
Right.
It's actually an app that I'm working on with Lauren, just kind of.
Nice.
But you have to, let's say, you know, get your tax records, or like if you pick a subdivision that you want to do lead generation, then you have to input that information to them. But you could apply this to cold calling, door knocking, or handwritten letters. So if you don't want to call, you could door knock those specific.
Right.
So you could target them in other ways other than cold calling, but the
Mhm.
conversion is so much higher. And even if they don't want to sell right this second, they're not usually upset. Because you'll hear like, oh my gosh, we were just talking about
How did
it.
you know?
You know,
Uh-huh.
wow, actually.
Right. Because everybody is listening. Yeah. In the AI world. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Is that valuable? That's valuable. Yeah.
Wow, that's what that is.
Yeah.
Is that $100? Is it $100 a month?
So you're charged based on how many properties they're monitoring. So what they do basically is they monitor the online activity of that household. So they won't tell you, so you can look at the tax records and kind of figure out if it's an absentee owner, like is it a rental property, is it a primary residence? and they're monitoring that household. So it might be a renter, it might be an owner. And so you have to switch that out. I think the base tier is $100 for 2,000 monitors.
Mhm.
And then you can switch those out and you can go up from there. But the data has been very accurate.
Yeah,
And there is, like a section for like the do not call, and I highly recommend you just exclude those automatically. But yeah.
so that would explain all the messages that I'm getting because I'm having a grandbaby and I am obsessively looking for baby things. I am not the one having a baby, but they think I am. Okay, that would explain.
Well, think about like if you're having a conversation, then you look on your phone, you get an ad for something you talked about.
Yep.
This software, this way of monitoring has been here long before we all knew about AI. And so now it's more available to us, and I'm sure it's only gonna get worse or,
Yeah.
better. however you
It's
wanna
gonna
look
get
at it.
better. Yeah, well, now it's now in a form that we can leverage to enhance our business, not be afraid of it. Yeah, I think it's the biggest thing.
Reevaluate.
Reevaluate.
Thank you.
Mhm. Anybody have any questions on this for Nina? Thanks. Okay, we can come back. We'll keep going. Video editing.
So these are just some of the ones that I use, and I didn't add it at the time when I was making this, but now I use Descript even more. Where I had hired a video editor a couple different times, and they charge an arm and a leg.
Mhm.
And I just, the amount of content I want to put out, this is not what I want to spend. And so Descript is where you can literally input the edits that you want. Or you can input a video example and say, edit this video like this example,
Okay.
and it will, and I mean,
Does Opus Clip, does that work the same way as well?
sort of, not really. So Opus Clip will take a longer clip and then make you a
You
short
can
form.
slice it up into all the pieces. I know a lot of people have talked about
And it
using
rates
that
it
one.
based off of potential to go viral. So that's great for turning long form into short form.
Got it.
But then for just basic editing, so all these platforms have basic editing options, but it's
Mhm.
kind of like each of the AI, like whether it's Grok or ChatGPT, they're all good at different things. So Descript I like because I can type in there and save, edit it this way.
Got it.
This type of transition, this type of music, this type of caption, instead of me sitting there in CapCut or InShot and just, editing it for hours.
Hours at a time. So talk about the talking head market updates. Number
So,
two.
well, what do you mean?
Like, so that's you that you have videoed,
Mhm.
and so then you tell it, but it's a video that's an AI of you giving the content?
No. So basically, all of this, so I haven't done the AI videos of me yet.
Okay.
I've been too chicken.
Yeah.
All of the videos that you see of me are actually me,
Okay.
but like when you're doing a longer form video, I don't know about you or anybody else, I struggle with that. Like I can shoot you a 30-second, 3 reasons why you should sell your house, you
Yeah.
know? But the long form, like all the stuff they need to cut out, and then also having a script. So have you seen videos where the camera's here, you see them looking away?
Yeah.
And I,
The teleprompter.
yeah, so there's the app that you can actually, while you're filming, the
It's on your
teleprompter's on the screen, so you won't see the eye movement.
Okay.
Yeah.
Does anybody use that with a teleprompter on the screen while they record?
So I'm using Captions, which is something similar to like the
Yeah.
Subnet Magic, and it actually has it built in to the app, that there is a teleprompter in the app.
Yeah.
Got
the
it.
Captions app. So I can do it multiple ways. I can do it where I can have it write me an AI script.
Yeah.
Like I don't have to do anything. Like it'll write me an AI script. I read the script, I send it out. I can either do an AI twin or I can actually do a me.
You,
Like,
yeah.
So
Mhm.
yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy.
I mean, for leverage.
Yeah.
Probably the most effective thing to do would be to take that 10 minutes and let the AI learn, like laugh, make all kinds of faces, let it learn your face.
Yep.
And then create those
Yep.
AI videos, because that's gonna be something you can leverage much faster. I just haven't done that yet.
Mhm.
But, I mean, like I said, there's so many different apps. It's almost, Lauren said yesterday after when I was talking with her, you want to think ahead about which ones connect the best and
Mhm.
try to learn those, because if you learn one that can't connect to this one, you're going to handicap yourself.
Right.
So trying to think ahead, okay, in 3 years or 5 years, obviously AI will change, but what are the big players that are going to for sure stick around
Mhm.
and eventually all have to cooperate?
Yep.
And then try to learn those.
Steve, what are your thoughts on the algorithm, knowing it's AI versus really you? Cause Lauren didn't really seem to think that was an issue yesterday, but Jason Abrams last week seemed to think it was an issue. That your AI generated videos wouldn't get pushed as much from the algorithm.
Yeah, he said the humans won't know, but the bots will.
So I don't have enough data to tell you how, like, because I haven't done those videos yet, so I'm not able to like rate other videos' performance or not. I do know that I've never like ran ads or done any like paid SEO stuff in my area, but just because of my videos, now Meta connects them to the Google search that I'm ranking like almost up to where people have been paying for ad spend for like 20 years.
Right.
So I do know that. I haven't tried those talking head videos, but the thing is, I feel like I'm torn because obviously both of those people are experts in what they do. And so anytime AI for me though is giving me information, I never just copy and paste it.
Right.
I'm always involved in the final edits, whether it's wording or an edit.
Mhm.
But it's still like, even if it's saving me 80% of the time I would spend on that, and I'm doing the last 20%, that's
Right.
still 80% of my time is being saved on that task. So maybe I'm just a control freak. I'm never gonna be like, okay, just do it, post
Yeah,
it, you know?
Well, and I think, cause Jason and the thing last week talked about it again, I'm a stalker. I look at everybody's stuff all the time. I don't know, maybe one, Thea's, yours was really close, but I knew it was AI because you told me. But y'all, there are some out there that people are posting like dancing donuts with your face on it. I mean, I think it's all cool and great, but think about who is your ideal avatar? Like, who are you trying to attract? Are you trying to attract people that like dancing donuts and want to do business with you? I don't know. Like, I think, seriously, I think whatever you're putting out there, make sure it's your brand and who you're trying to attract. Gary's laughing at me. I've seen some crazy stuff.
I like it.
And just keep it authentic to you. And so if that's your slick, well then, that's great. But I think if you make all of your videos moving forward, clearly that they're AI, you're losing that human connection with people. And that's not really who they are. And people need to know who you are before they're going to do business with you with the largest transaction of their life. And so I think just keeping that in mind, it's all new shiny things, but keeping it authentic at some level. I think if people just go 100% to the other side, it's gonna, because we all know that Amazon went down yesterday, right? And I shared with my leadership team this morning, y'all know my husband works for AWS. That's not a secret. So I got 30 messages saying, why did Zed break Amazon yesterday? And literally my response was, Kim does this. My response was, well, he got sick of me shopping all the time and shut that shit down. So he turned it off for a while to make his point. No, but we're in a digital age. And so if you relinquish everything over to a platform and you lose control or don't have control of what you're doing, what if all this got turned off one day? And you've never made your own video before? I mean, I think just being a smart business owner.
This might be a controversial opinion, but
Yeah.
I'm gonna say it anyway.
No, please, we're
Because
in the safe room.
I really believe it wholeheartedly. I sometimes will see agents, other states, countries,
Yep.
it's not just specific to anything local, but they will leverage out things that they've never done themselves.
Right.
And I think that's a big mistake because number one, you don't learn and gain that trial and error experience and character growth from learning that thing. But then also, what if, again, this all goes away?
What if it all shut off tomorrow? Right.
Do you actually know how to run your business? Do you know how to create the content? Do you know how to write the scripts? Because if you know how to do those things and then you're just able to leverage and save time,
Mhm.
but you're still controlling how you appear to the public and your brand and your voice,
Yep.
then you're fine.
I'll help you pay for a billboard that says just that. I mean, that is good advice. That is very, very sage
I'm trying to
advice.
attract agents, I'm trying to attract clients.
Yeah. That's what we keep talking about. Just don't lose the authenticity and also don't leverage out things you've never done before. Because if that leverage got cut off tomorrow, you'd be like, okay, that is not running your business. That is letting other people run your business.
And one of the things Jason talked about was, whatever you do in this, you've got to be very consistent.
That's right.
It's gotta be you and it's gotta be your personality all the way through down the line, because if you start deviating from that, then ChatGPT or whether the bots or whatever is reading this is going, oh, wait a minute.
They're
that's-
confused.
that's
So now
not-
I'm confused.
That's not what you normally do.
Yeah.
And, it's also, you can be professional, but you can also have some fun with it, cause I like to have fun. I've done videos where I'm dressed in a turkey suit,
Exactly.
at Thanksgiving, but it was just a video to my clients. And they all know me and they know I'm a little weird, so.
But on social media, it's still, it's a one video in a season of time promoting something. Obviously, it was about Thanksgiving, but you're not dressing up in costumes every day
Right.
and
A dancing donut.
dancing donut or what, yeah. There's,
I mean,
yeah.
the reality is that the other conversation thing we have to think about is compensation. And it's negotiable, as we all know, but then over time, and I'm sure those who have been in the business for 10, 20, 30 years will tell you, things adjust. And so as stuff like this becomes more ready to the public, they're gonna start to wonder, why do we have to then, we don't wanna pay XYZ compensation. What are you doing for us in return? So an agent that is able to take care of all of this for them.
Mhm.
Or, like if you're leveraging that out so your overhead is less, then, just something to think about. But then again, going back to like learning how to do something yourself before leveraging it out, then it gives you that confidence when you're talking about
You can speak on it.
compensation.
Yeah.
It's like, no, we're earning your business. These are all the things we have done and what we can do for you.
Mhm.
So.
Yep. Yep. Love that. Any questions on any of that we talked about so far? Curious as thousands.
Does anyone know on Instagram that translate your voice to multiple languages? That's a new AI feature.
Anybody know that?
No.
So you can't have multiple voices in there. You have to just have one voice.
Mhm.
And you can have music in the background, but it will automatically, if you select it, they don't have all the languages yet, but they have quite a bit.
Wow.
And so like someone from another country could then see my video where I'm speaking in English and they're hearing it in Hindi. But my mouth is also moving with how it should in speaking Hindi.
Oh, wow. Okay, that's good.
And that's just an automated thing that you don't have, you can just upload your video.
And then they do all the things for you.
Yeah.
I know.
But then they call you and you go, yeah, I don't speak it. Hello.
You can do the translator
But English is the world's largest language, so there's a
to deliver a message,
Yeah.
yeah.
good possibility.
Now, Lauren was talking about that with Opus Clips the other day, because you
Mhm.
can go into that, once it chops it down, you can go into Opus Clips and change it to any language you want, and then use Make to send it out to the
Yeah.
world. It's amazing,
Y'all, this stuff is so
crazy stuff,
fascinating.
for sure.
So fascinating. All right, so redacted, we kind of talked about, the script you kind of talked about, Hey Jim, we kind of talked about a little bit. But do you use all of these at a high level?
So redactable, redactable is my go-to for redacting information, but I don't do that as much, so
Yeah.
it really depends.
Depends on what the documents,
Mhm.
right?
My challenge for myself before the end of the year is starting to make AI videos, that are me talking, but actually AI. But then incorporating that with the human-made videos.
Yeah.
Someone just flew in from Texas and we did a content day and we got about 60 videos. So we're gonna be incorporating those. And
Nice.
so I think if you're able to mix it up, that will probably help you stay balanced with the
Mhm.
algorithm, at least I hope, until somebody tells me otherwise.
Yeah, because that's kind of what Jason was talking about, that if you just do the AI or, yeah, it kind of knows that you're not a real
I mean, if
person.
you copy and paste from chat, just remove like the dashes, like there's basic things that you can change if you don't want to change anything else to where everyone will look at it and know it's AI.
Yeah. Yeah, keep the human touch to it, for sure. Prompts.
So I would say if I could give one tip, whichever platform you decide to go with, whether it's ChatGPT or other ones, really hyper focus on that one and learn how to write prompts. Because without knowing how to write prompts, I think you will miss a huge opportunity. And these are just some general examples of what you could do.
I love this one. How can I double my revenue in 6 months with half the effort? Seriously.
And then anytime you prompt it, and they're giving you answers, ask it back. what questions am I not asking that will better help you understand X, Y, Z?
Mhm. And a lot of people now are like uploading their calendars. Please tell me where the gaps are. What should I adjust on my calendar? Or, you know, here's what I'm struggling with. Give me some prompts or how to have, you know, hard conversations on negotiating this one topic or, you know, around one thing.
So here's a personal example. I have 4 dogs and one of them, and they're all adopted, one of them had some kidney issues that were breathing. And so I got a long email from the vet with all the concerns. I took that screenshot, I put it into ChatGPT and like, okay, what diet do I need to be feeding?
Mhm.
Because it was very overwhelming, all the terms. I was like, oh my God, the dog's gonna die.
Yeah.
And I got a specific diet, so we put her on that for about 3 months, took her back to the vet, and huge improvement in the reading. She's like, what did you do? And I was like, well, not you asked.
But back in the day, what would we say? Oh, we Googled it.
Yeah.
Right? Like, not in this almost hour, not one person has said we're Googling it. So just, I mean, think about how far we've come, right? So just, it's just fascinating.
And I have another theory, and Lauren agrees, that she thinks that the agents that are integrating with AI well are then also gonna be kind of like he mentioned the other day, you're gonna be then trusted by AI. And
Mhm.
so then you're gonna be featured and promoted by AI to consumers when they're searching for real estate related
Yep.
things in your area. And so it's all integrated, which I find very fascinating.
Mhm.
And so that's just another motivator of understanding and integrating it, separate from how it helps you in your business.
Yeah.
'Cause then the AI is like, okay, we know her, you know, we know she's legit, we know she's active every day, you know.
Mhm. One of the questions that has come up before, so for anybody in the room that has never used ChatGPT or used Gemini and don't know what to do, ask it. Say, hey, I've never used this before. What's the first thing I need to do to learn how to use this platform? And I was like, well, duh, like, hello. And you can literally ask it anything. And it will, you know, whatever voice you picked, or it'll tell you, you know, the first thing you can start with, which is, I just think is so fascinating.
My favorite thing is driving down the road and doing the voice chat.
Yeah.
It's so convenient,
Yep.
like brain dumping, brainstorming, planning. Hey, add this to my grocery list. Hey, add this to my content list. Just random things, and they organize it for you, you know?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, because you can create all your, like, kind of like notebooks within ChatGPT or Gemini, and it will put all that stuff in your notebooks, kind of like Notable or, you know, all that kind of stuff. You can create like file folders in there and it will put all in there for you.
Nina, are you aware of any good resource for prompts?
So the only resources I've used are AI, as far as like just asking the platform, like literally starting and saying, this is who I am, this is what I want to do. Where do you recommend I learn about prompts? And so sometimes they'll send you a YouTube video, sometimes they'll give you a list itself.
Mhm.
The
And
lady that spoke at Megan Camp, her book is pretty good, but it's pretty basic.
yeah, so, and that's the thing, like, it all depends on what you're searching for. I always recommend if someone's starting out, like, to build the foundation of who you are, what you want for your business within that one platform, and then build from there. Because if you just have these little conversations here and there, you're missing out on probably 99% of the value, because it doesn't really know. Like, you're using it like Google instead of actually like a building partner to your
Right, to
business.
build something, not just information.
It
Yeah.
is more useful than Google still.
Yeah.
But it's being underused if that's all it's being used for.
Yeah, and I know for those that are always looking to, like, for content calendars and stuff, ask it.
Oh,
Say,
so
okay.
look at the mistakes it made.
Oh, yeah.
So there's no separation between,
Right, yeah, the root. See it on there?
Yeah.
Mhm.
so that's a good example.
Don't copy paste.
Mhm.
Yeah, don't copy
Yeah.
and paste. But yeah, but like for the content calendars and stuff, just ask us, I want to have a 30-day content calendar based on, maybe you have a theme for the month, or I know like for November, we're gonna do something here starting in November for a month of gratitude, a month of thankfulness, for the month of, you know, being thankful, and each day has something different, and we'll do our social media for the markets in around 30 days of being thankful around the holiday. And so literally you can just say, I want 30 days of content based on XYZ, and it will build you an entire calendar around that. And if you tell what platform you want it on, what you want it to be, whether it's, you know, a video, whether it's just a flyer of some sort, you can, I mean, it'll literally do it in like 2 seconds.
And I recommend if you're gonna be on social media, go to your primary platforms that you use, take a screenshot of how it looks to the consumer, put that into ChatGPT and ask them what they would recommend, like ask them to be an SEO expert for your, you know, whatever area you live in, and then what changes would you make?
Yeah.
And so I did that over a year ago now, and the primary thing was they didn't want me to put my name first, because no one's searching Nina Burkdoll. Realistically, no one's
Okay.
going on Instagram searching, who's Nina Burkdoll? We don't know, but they might be searching for Athens, Georgia. They might be searching for homes in Athens. So adjusting your words. So I recommend everybody do that. It's a very easy thing, and they'll make you change, you know, like your bio and your keywords and all that. And you'll see your engagement increase a lot just by changing that.
See, that's a great nugget. That's an action item everybody can do today if you haven't already
Yeah.
done it. That's amazing.
Cause I had no clue,
Yeah.
you know.
Well, we had somebody, was it here where somebody pulled up our Instagram page and they did it live, like they did, they audited it live? It was Lauren, yeah, and we were like, oh God, I'll raise my hand, I was like, this is probably a huge mistake, and so she pulled it up, and she gave us feedback, and it wasn't the worst. But it, you know, just make yourself vulnerable, like let somebody look at it, you know, just say, hey, you know, give me feedback on that.
And sometimes the changes you need to make are not that big.
Yeah.
But I mean, it makes total sense to me. No one's searching for Nina. But
Right.
now
They
that,
didn't
you
know
know,
that Nina's in Athens, they want homes in Athens,
Yeah.
or wherever you're looking.
and so my name will still be in there, but it's not in that primary search. So Athens, Georgia real estate is my handle. And then when you click on my account, then you'll see Nina Burkdoll. And you know, you see the brokerage and all that stuff, which legally you have to have
Yeah.
for advertising, but in that first search.
So smart.
No,
So smart.
ChatGPT.
Yeah. No, ChatGPT.
I had a question real quick. So, what sort of difference did you see in your boost in engagement before using AI and after using AI to re-strategize your content?
So I think, so I had like 400 followers. And